Today, let's talk about some project and knowledge management tools such as Trello, Notion, Asana, Monday, Google Wiki, even. There's a lot of them out there. So, we'll talk about a few of them today, mostly go through Trello just as an example. But the main point is that everyone with a job should be thinking about how they manage their work and knowledge. Every CFO and operations manager should be thinking about how their company manages their work and knowledge. And you, as an individual, should be thinking about how do you make sure you never miss a task. How are you managing your projects? How are you assigning out work? How you are taking assignments? All that good stuff is vital to being a great employee, to being a great manager, to growing in your career. So I'll put some links in the course notes because I do think this is vital, but you'll see you can read a little more about how to create a project management system at the Ops MBA blog. And we'll talk about Trello now for a minute. So the basics are, though, that you should, as I said, you should be thinking about this intensely. Like, how are you managing your work? How does the workflow happen? How do the assignments happen? How do you never miss something? How do you prioritize your work? All that really important stuff. One good tool for this is Trello. Here's Trello. It's a very visual way to manage work. So you see, it's pretty simple. You have different lists. Here's my list. You can add more lists to if you wanted to. New list. Then each list has cards. Test card. So really visual, super simple. You can move them around. You can move the cards around. Really, really cool, powerful way. Really simple way to do a lot of this stuff. Inside cards, then you can add descriptions. You can then save it. You can edit that description. You have an activity log. You can add members to the card. Label cards with different colors. Or you could have this be operations and save that, and then operations will show up there. You can add deadlines and dates and checklists in there. This is going to be my checklist, right? First, second, and then you check them off. So this is not meant to be a full introduction to Trello. The main point of this is to show you one example of a really valuable way to do this, which is using Trello or one of those other pieces of software I mentioned of prioritizing, right? Your most important thing goes to the top every day. And then you make sure that it has the deadline of today. And then that'll pop up there, and then you can give it a color. And so you make sure you can do these things by categories. So Trello is just one example. A lot of tech startups use it. It's a really simple tool, really good for teams to be assigning things to each other and sharing things. Lots of people make multiple boards. This one happens to be for community and product operations, but you can have a different board for different teams. There's a lot of automations and other special features that make things even more efficient. But just the basics here. I use this for my personal to-do list and my work to-do list of being able to move things around, back and forth between lists, around and reprioritizing. It is just a great way. And one of the main points of it is that it will make you work the way you should work. Because if you're going to use this, you're probably going to naturally use it in a way that prioritizes things with this, right? So the most important thing for today goes to the top. And I do that first. Maybe if it's not that important, it moves here. Or maybe it's stages. A lot of product teams use it as stages of work. This is the backlog and things you're not yet doing. This is the stuff that's up next. This is live work, or maybe something that's being designed. This is the building stage. So sometimes you also can move things to the right. I often do move things to the left, where this is my list for today. I move the most important things to the top. Every day I'll prioritize this, and probably multiple times a day. Often I will then sort the list by either date or something else. Often it's just date. And it's a good way then to reprioritize and know you're both managing a calendar and a to-do list at the same time. But I always know whenever I have something to do next, yes, I'll glance at this. I'll look at my backlog column. I'll look at my current column. But I will first look at the top of this list. What do I have to do today? What are the top 3 things for tomorrow? It will really help me prioritize and focus and never miss something. Once it's in here, it is not going to get missed. So Trello is one really good way to do it. Pen and paper works great. There's lots of ways to do it and lots of software out there. Try a few of them. The main point is use one of them. Even pen and paper, have a system for project management, for task management, for knowledge management. You can store knowledge in a lot of these systems also, especially a tool like Notion, which is one that's growing now that a lot of people like. It gets a little complicated and is definitely intense to use. You can use it just like this, though. It can be used almost the same as Trello, but then you can also add a lot of other features and products and power to it. As I said, the main point, though, is you should be using systems like this to make sure you're prioritizing properly and you're not missing things and you're collaborating and you're just working well. This is really a like, how do I work? This is how you work. You work through a system like this with prioritization and never missing tasks and assigning things to the right person and the right date, the right due date, all that stuff. So check out Trello. It's a great tool, but definitely make sure you have a system for it, whether it's pen and paper or software or something else. Definitely be on top of task management, project management, knowledge management.